all right? And all you need to do is just play along these two strings for your root. So whatever this is called, whatever that's called, that's the type of chord you're playing. And you're either making it the major shape, you're making it the seventh shape, you're making it the minor shape, or the minor seventh shape along the A string. Now, that's what people know. And you'll find all that in books, not explained as simply as I just explained it to you, but you'll find it in books. Now let me tell you another secret that nobody knows. The same thing can be true for every position on the guitar. Okay? If I'm playing off of this string or that string, what if I want to play off of that string, the D? So how do I play a D? Right? But what if instead I take this D shape and I do it like that, and now I move it up here and put that. Now, and again, you don't need these two bottom strings, all you need is this. Now that D chord, played with these fingers, can be a slide chord, barred slide chord anywhere on the guitar. And now you can add, and now, again, how do I play a D7? Well, you play the D7 like that. So if I use that D7 shape up here, I've got a seventh chord. How do you play D minor? Well, we put one finger here, one there, and one there, right? There's your minor shape. And again, if I move that up here, I can use the D minor shape to give me, and now the D becomes my root. Everywhere along here becomes my root. So now we can add another 12 times 3. So now we've gone from 96 chords to what, 120 something chords, 128 chords. All right. Okay, now what about this? Do you recognize this? Could you play it this way? Can you play it with these three fingers? Now what if I moved that up there and did that? Now what happens is I now have essentially here a C sharp major. If I move that over there, so I can take that shape, the C shape, and move it all along the guitar here. And I know that wherever this finger is, this is where C is. See, when I've got this hand here, this is where C is. C sharp. So, and again, you could do this. You can just. So I can take that C shape, and this time wherever my middle finger is, that's the name of the chord. Okay. Now, to be even more comfortable, just put that finger there and relax it. Because once this is here, it doesn't matter if you have that behind that, right? And then, yeah, and then that one there, there you go. Now, okay, pull this back here and put that there. Now try your C shape. Okay, relax your hand now. Just relax your hand, try it. It takes a little while to get it right there to press. But now you can use the C shape and slide that anywhere on the guitar that you want, right? So now we've got a root off of this string by using the E's. We have a root off of this by using the E shape. We have, by using the D shape off of that, and off the B, we can have a C shape. Well, we're right back to the E again. So what do I have? I have 5 shapes which are very easy to play majors, minors, and sevenths off of, or minor sevenths off of. And I can play any string can be the root for any chord anywhere. So now I can grab a hand position that will give me whatever I want in any position. So instead of moving my hand like this, I can keep my hand in one position and move from this string to that string to this string to that string as my roots by just changing my hand shape to go along with those things. Right. So if I'm here, this is going to be my root note, right? So then I'm going to use my A shape for there. If I want to move over here, then what I'm going to do is use my E shape. There's my 5 chord. Come back to this with my A shape, here. Come over to the D to do my D shape. There's my 4 chord, and then come back. So just between these 3 strings, I can go 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, and just change to the shape of the bar chord I want, and I don't have to move my hand all over the goddamn place. All I do is just take these 3 fingers and move them in different configurations, right? And now I don't have to go all over the damn thing. Now here's the thing. You have to understand that the shape and where you are determine the name of the chord, so it's not that this is a C chord anymore, because that C chord can be a C sharp or a D, or I can play the...
It's a C shape, but
it's a C shape. There are 5 shapes that will allow you to play any chord anywhere on the guitar, which means all you need to do is to know which shape to grab to have that chord in that place. So I can play all of my chords here, or I can play all of my chords here, or all of them here, or all of them here. I can put my hand in any one of, there's 5 positions along the guitar. I can put my hand in any one of the 5 positions, grab any one of those 5 shapes, and play every chord there is. See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Now this they call the caged system, but they don't explain it that way. They make it mysteriously. But the caged system is simply learning to play a D slide chord, a C slide chord, okay, an A slide chord, an E slide chord, and a G slide chord. So you learn to play your G chord like this. So you use this cheat G and put your... And you got your 5 shapes, which can be forced to any root, anywhere. So now, it's not a matter of, where you are on the guitar. It's what shape you grab and what root note you are presenting, which creates the name of that chord. Now you've got 1,096 chords, roughly, with those 5 shapes along the 12 frets. And they're only 5 shapes. And they're common shapes. The E shape everybody knows about, the A shape most people know about, but the D shape, the G shape, and the C shape are the ones that nobody knows about. And they learn it in the caged system and learn to move them, but they don't put it together, and they don't gestalt it together with the whole package, which is there are 5 different positions on the guitar where you can play the same note. And I can actually put my hand anywhere I want and grab any one of those shapes to create any chord I want without moving my hand more than 1 fret in either direction. So it's really what we call voice leading in the sound you want. You want it to be a higher sound or a lower sound. You're not caught in what we call the cowboy chords, the ones below the 5. Everything below the 5 frets here are open chords. I call cowboy chords. Gene Autry referred to them as cowboy chords. I like that. You're not stuck with just the fucking cowboy chords, okay? You can play any one of those 5 shapes as a movable anywhere you want. So now what you do is you sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper, and you take your chord progressions of your song, you decide where you want to put your hand, and you just work out the strategy for changing your hand to those different shapes so your wrist doesn't move. The idea, we call that in piano, we call that voice leading, or we try to find a way in which we can respell the chord without moving our wrists. So we can play all the chords with our wrists in one position, or we can move our wrist, play inversions of the chord all over. You can use as much real estate as you want, or you can keep your hands in one place and play all the chords. Same is true on the guitar. Now, I just gave you the biggest fucking music lesson in the world. I've never told anyone all of this at once. I know it's a lot to remember, but it's stuck in your head somewhere. And I just want you to understand, and I want you to understand this about this lesson is, you can do whatever you want to do if you just work out a strategy to do it without complicating mechanically what you're doing. Okay? There's no reason to move your hand all over here to Timbuktu and back when some of these simple chord shapes can be played as bar chords anywhere in any position. Now, let me show you the secret to the caged system. The reason they call it we didn't call it the caged system when I was a kid. When I was a kid and we were studying classical guitar, we referred to them as the inversions of the chords. And we usually started with the C chord. And we learned that if you wanted to play the C chord further up, you had to play it as an A shape. And then what happened is some genius one day when he was doing this, he realized that if you take these inversions always go through the exact same pattern for any of those 5 shapes. And some genius found out one day that if you spell the word caged, C-A-G-E-D, this is the shape that the inversions are going through.
Check this out. I wrote a song called Caged. It's those chords.
So here's the C chord. There's the C chord. If I move up 3 frets and play an A bar chord, it's still a C. It's an inversion of it. It's still the C. If I move up another 2 frets and play the G bar chord, it's still a C. So I can play the A shape as a C in a different location on the guitar. I can play the G shape as a C in a higher location on the guitar. I can play the E as a C on the higher location. And I can play the D bar chord as a G higher up. And what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter names, or you still can play the C in all 5 inversions along the neck. So if you're playing the C chord, you know that this is where the root is, and that's where the root is. So if I'm going to play it as an A chord, here's my, there would be some kind of an A shape, and so I would have to take these guys here and put that there, and that's still a C chord now. So now I'm playing the A as a C chord because I'm looking at this bottom root here as a pivot for where my bar chord's going to be, and then put in those down there, and now I have, that is a C, but it's an inversion of the C. It's still the same chord. Now if I take that, another place when you're playing the A here, that note there, there's your root there. Now if I'm playing that, I can then take that shape, that A shape, which is my C chord now, and I can move it up to the G position off of this place here, and then play my G chord up here, and put my bar there, and now I've still got a C chord.
That's 4th, this here.
See? So it's still this chord, but it's an inversion of the chord where there's a different spelling, or what we call voicing. So now I've moved it to the G shape higher up on the guitar, but it's still a C. If I'm going to go up from the G, from this G position here, and I want to go, where's the roots of the G? Right here. So what shape has the roots on the outside? The E chord. So if I play the E shape here, I now have, again, I still have this, I have this E shape bar chord, but because that and that are where C is at, it's still the C. It's still the same chord. And then if I move up to the D shape, again, if I'm taking that C, and I know that these out to these, let's see, I know that there and that there are C. Those are my roots. And then when I play that E shape, this also is a root right here. There's a root, here's a root, and here's a root. If I take this guy and make that on my D string, the D shape, now I have a C again in the 5th position. So I'm forcing the D shape now to play C. So I can play C, 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 but I have to change the shape from a C shape to an A shape to a G shape to an E shape to a D shape.
At the very end.
So I can play a C chord in 5 different locations on the guitar. Well, what if I'm playing C, G, C, F here? Can't I move up here into one of these shapes, like the G shape, play my C chord? What would I have to do to move from the C to the G? Well, guess what? The next shape for G will be E. So if I play an E shape, that's going to be forcing it into a G chord. And they don't have the F here, but you know. So what happens is you just simply use this word as if it were in a circle. C, A, G, E, D. If I'm playing an A chord, if I move to the G shape up higher 3 frets, it's still going to be an A chord, but it's going to be the G shape. I go up higher, it's going to be the E shape, but it's going to be the A chord. I go up higher, it's the D, that's still the A shape, and I go up higher, it's the C, it's still the A. So now you got 2 points of view. I can, by going through this circle, I can keep the same chord by changing shape to different locations, or I can take any location and force it to be any chord. Now you have total freedom. You are free to do any friggin' thing you want, anytime you want, anywhere you want. All you need, honestly, is a pencil and paper to sit down and figure these shapes out. There's only 5 shapes you got to learn as slide chords, and you have to learn how these shapes move from one shape to the other to keep the same chord. So again, if I'm a G and I want to go higher on the guitar, I can go 2 positions up, play the D shape, and I'll still have my G. But then what I would do is G, F, and G, D, and my G, my D, and my A, my C, my G, C, and D, which are my 1, 3, 1, 4, 5 chords, would be different shapes over here. But they'd still be the same damn chords, inverted. And what you do again, now what I do is I decide what shape I want depending on the tone that I want to produce. I'll try the C chord here, I'll try it here, I'll try it here, I'll try it here, and I'll say which of those C chords is rearranging the notes in a way where the voicing is pleasant to my ear and has the kind of tension that I want. And then if I'm grabbing the C shape up here where G is at, then what I have to do is go to a D chord to go for my next, and go back to the C shape to go to my G chord. You see what I'm getting at?
I think so.
So you only have 5 shapes. You have, if you want to keep the same chord, you rotate through those shapes in the 5 positions on the guitar. But if you want to stay in one position on the guitar, by moving through those shapes, you'll be changing all 5 to all 5 of those chords. You have your choice now. You can go any damn place you want at any time you want. But all you need to do is sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper and sort of figure out the strategy. And then take your song, which is your chord progression, which is yours. It's the goal or the story you want to tell, and then figure out how to incorporate your strategy for achieving that goal. And if I want to play it here with the cowboy chords, fine. But I can take that C position, start up here in the A position, and then rearrange it and still play C, G, and F here. Or move up here where it's in the D position and still go from my D shape to the G shape, or from the D shape back to the A shape, and still wind up having my 1, 4, 5 chord progression. Now I can put my hand any place I want to and create any chord I want to at any time. You have literally 1,096 chords, which means you can get anything anywhere you want. Any one of these strings can be your root, and what's the important thing for linking these up is to know where the roots of each of the shapes are at. So for the C chord, I know that this and this are my root, so I can make a string. I can do something on the B string here with this root, okay? And I can do something on the A string here with this root. So if I want to keep the C, I can create either an A chord shape or a B chord shape to keep that C, right? Once I have an A chord here, and on the A chord, there's my root, and there's my root. I have two roots. I have a root on the A, and I have a root here on the G string. So once I know those are my roots, I can create another G. I can create another A by taking off of this G string here, making that the root of one of these shapes. So the thing is you look at each of these shapes and you see where the roots are on each of these shapes.